This year, we're going to go inward and discover who the hell we are, what we want, the direction we want to go. We're going to put in the damn practice. We're going to start at 6 inches, go 6 feet, and then 60 feet above the ground. And while the rest of the world's stuck watching Netflix, eating popcorn, and drinking another Coke, we're going to be crossing bridges. Gentlemen, what's going on? Man. It is the first day of 2022. That sounds weird. 2022. This is the year of the better man. We're going to do some things a little bit different. We are going to have the courage to go inward. You say courage to go inward. What the hell do you mean? I think it takes a little courage to face those inner demons, those inner insecurities, those inner woes that we have. This is the year in a long-term journey. We're going to have a long-term plan here. This is not some get-fix, overnight, quick fix, entitled, coddled mindset that the rest of the world has. And if you're anything like me that I've had in the past, we're going to have long-term sight, a long-term vision here where this year we're going to go on the inward, figure out who the hell we are, what we want, and what it takes to get there. Have you ever decided, man, I'm going to do something different? I'm going to separate myself from the mass. I'm going to separate myself from the herd. I'm going to separate myself from delusional thinking. And I'm going to do something different. I'm going to embark on a different journey. This is New Year's with all these resolutions. So it's safe to say that we've probably all at least thought of this. It's a new year. What does it bring? What am I capable of? But when we do this, do we ever feel like, well, maybe somebody's they're watching to see if I fail? That everybody expects me to fail. And I'm not suggesting that we have some paranoia outlook, but that we have this reality check that where, just like the news, bad sells over the good. We watch the news and it's not about all the great things that are happening in the world. It's about the bad. For some reason, we're kind of prone to that negativity. And I think it's a large part because it's comfort to see other people's misery because we feel a little bit better about ourselves, so we cling to that. So in the world, there's always going to be somebody that's maybe not necessarily wanting you to fail, but they like it when you don't succeed because it makes them feel a little bit better about themselves. And as men choosing to be better, to do better, to think better, to adopt a new mindset and adopt characteristics that align with that mindset, we're going to have to leave some of those people. Maybe it's toxic relationship, toxic friendships. Maybe it's a career. Maybe it's our own damn mindset. We're going to have to leave that old behind to go to the new. If you want something new, you have to give up something old. And there's always going to be those people, or even in the back of our head, that mindset that says, who the hell you are, or who the hell do you think you are? You're going to fail. We've all been there. We know that. Bad news sells. So in life, we have this circus, man. It's this circus where everybody's in the crowd and we're watching those juggling chainsaws and those in a cage with motorcycles driving them around them and the tightrope walker. We're all sitting there with our 2-gallon sugary substance drink, whatever we subscribe to. And then we have that pound of processed food just running over and drooling down onto our shirt. We're sitting there in our fat comfort watching the rest of the world, those courageous ones, do whatever meaning they found. We're watching them do the dangerous things that we would like to do, but that we don't have the courage to do. And what's the main point of those dangerous things? Why do you go to a circus? Why do you watch that tightrope walker in amazement? Because it's the risk that he could fall to his death. It's the risk that person in the cage could get hit by one of those motorcycles. In the back of our head, we're always thinking, what if? Oh yeah, that's dangerous. And some sick thing within us is like, yeah, I hope he falls. That's part of our nature. And especially in this culture, we have a sick society that wants to hold people back because it makes them feel comfortable in their misery. So we're in the circus arena, man. We're under the tent. But you decided, man, I want to be that tightrope walker. I'm tired of this fat, lazy lifestyle where I'm just like everybody else, wasting my life. I want to set myself apart. So we get on that tightrope while the rest of the world's just waiting for us to fall. And I think many times when we decide, I'm going to do something new, I'm going to separate myself from the crowd. And while they're pulling us back and they're waiting for us to fail, it's easy to fall back into the old patterns, the old way of thinking, that just to be negative with the rest of the crowd, because it's a lot easier to be negative than it is to get your ass up and start walking across the tightrope. Why? Because we're going to fall. And when I was thinking about this, it reminded me years ago, I watched a documentary about some family members that were in the circus, and it showed them training for tightrope walking. And they didn't throw their young kids up on that tight, 50-foot, 100-foot wire. They started just like a few inches off the ground, the same wire, but just a few inches, because it eased that mindset. You weren't so anxious and worried about falling. And also, when you did fall, because you're going to fall, we're going to fail. We're choosing new things that we're not used to. We're going different paths. It's going to be a little difficult. There's going to be some dark times. There's going to be some trying times. There's going to have to be some giants that are slayed along the path. We are going to fail. Get that out of your head that it's going to be an easy road to change overnight. It just doesn't happen. And so not only is it low to the ground so it can remove some fears, it's low to the ground so you can get back up on it. Imagine if you kept falling even if there was a net under you. That would be tiring to, okay, then climb up the ladder to get up, because you're going to fall, then fall, climb back. It's right there so that it's not as draining, because you are going to fall. They expect that. Then you get good at that same wire, and then they lift it up a little higher. Same wire. Beginning to remove those fears. You're getting practice. You're getting good. Then they lift you up and put a net under it, because they know they're probably inevitably going to fall. So you get good at that. Same wires it's always been. It was 6 inches, then it was 6 feet, now it's 60 feet. Same wire. Now you have a net. You're getting better and you're getting better. And those fears are being removed. And all these people have still been watching this whole time, but you're getting better and better. And you're proving to them who you are. And eventually the net's removed. No fears. You've been doing this and practicing them. You weren't so short-sighted that you said, I'm going to change overnight and jump up there. And then in the middle of the crowd, when people are watching and expecting you to fail, you do, because you haven't practiced. And in my life, I've did that. I get gung-ho about something. Hell, I'm going to change overnight. I'm going to be this and that, and the hell with the rest of the crowd. They can eat their popcorn and drink their Pepsi and get fat as hell. I'm going to climb that wire and be a badass. And then I fall, because I haven't put in the practice. And once I get up there, I realize, damn, you ever been high up and look down and it just scares the shit out of you? Many times that's where we get scared, because we haven't put in the practice. What if I fail? In the back of the head, what if you fail? What if I fail? It doesn't always have to be verbally some enemy of ours that's speaking to us. The worst enemy we have most times is right up here, that voice in the head that says, you can't do it. You're going to fall. You're going to die. You're going to crash. You can't do it. And so we resign ourselves to that sugary drink and that fat food that's making us fat as shit and making our brains just mush. We have to begin to put in the practice. And we have to separate ourselves from the crowd. That's first and foremost. Those people in the crowd, they're going through that self-preservation comfort area where they're miserable. And they're so miserable that they want to see other people fail. They go to see the tightrope walker fall. They don't go to see him cross, because if he crosses, then what the hell does their life mean? It's possible to cross, and oh my God, why am I so fat and lazy and ignorant? They go to see you fall and fail because it gives them the comfort of, yeah, told them so. I'm good where I'm at. I'm just going to stay down here living a mediocre life because I don't want to risk failure. We are men created to take that risk required to cross that 60-foot wire. No safety net. Nothing below us to save us. We go on that iron will of strength and fortitude, that mind that's did it, that's prepared, that's practiced. And we're not so focused on the crowd chanting and screaming for us to fall. That's okay. That amps us up a little bit more. We love that because we've put in the practice and we know that we can prove them wrong. And at the end of the day, we've went inward to find out who we are. We're a little bit stronger. We're a little bit more prepared. We're a little more wiser because we've mastered another skill. And that's what it means to be a better man. We separate ourselves from that herd mentality that lives in mediocre living. Their lifestyle is that of comfort. Their lifestyle is that of cowardice. They don't push themselves. This year, we're going to go inward and discover who the hell we are, what we want, the direction we want to go. We're going to put in the damn practice. We're going to start at 6 inches, go 6 feet, and then 60 feet above the ground. And while the rest of the world's stuck watching Netflix, eating popcorn, and drinking another Coke, we're going to be crossing bridges, crossing wires, man. adding value to our life, finding out who the hell we are, saying yes to living the short period that we have, 60, 70, 80, 90 years. We're going to live it to the fullest, not be stuck in the corner in the circus, eating another funnel cake and cotton candy, wishing we were the guy on the wire crossing it. I love you guys. You'll hear from me next episode.